Ariel Helwani has left ESPN. That's interesting. So Ariel Helwani, of course, signed with ESPN 3 years ago, had a 3-year contract, which makes sense because he's now left ESPN. So his contract must have been up. That's how that works. But I wouldn't... If you told me when Ariel Helwani signed for ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports in America, massive deal to work for ESPN, especially for someone like Ariel Helwani, who has gone his whole career to get an opportunity like working for ESPN, covering MMA, a sport that he loves, and of course covering NBA basketball, a sport that is probably his second favourite, but a very, very close second favourite to MMA. So if anything, he had his dream job, yet he walked away from it because he didn't feel that the terms of his contract were correct, or not as much as he could get, or he's been offered other things elsewhere. So one, you've got to say that the guy has got the courage of his convictions to make a move like that when on paper he already had the dream job, getting paid at least $500,000 a year if reports out there are correct. But I guess the question is now, what's next for Ariel? Obviously, he had his own podcast before he went to ESPN. He'll have his own podcast when he's not at ESPN. It won't be something that he doesn't carry on. Obviously, Ariel and the bad guy, DC and Helwani, those things are gone. Do they merge the two and have a DC and Chael show? Does Gilbert Melendez come in? All of those sorts of things. We can figure that out later on down the road. But where does Ariel Helwani pop up next? And I'm just putting it out there. I've got a sneaky suspicion he will pop up in pro wrestling. And I don't know why. I'm not too sure why. It's always something he's never done. It's always something he's spoken relatively fondly of. And his sons have recently got into it, which he's talked about quite passionately on his podcast. So, will we see Ariel Helwani at WWE? I don't think so. Will we see Ariel Helwani at AEW? I think we might. And this video might not age well when in about a week he tells us what he's going to do. But for right now, I think we'll see Ariel Helwani pop up at AEW. Let's see what happens.